Welcome to Float Roll Crawl. I got this MADONE frame for $70, but there's a catch. It's broken. Let's bring this bike back from the grave. Let's start by getting this old paint protection film off to get a better look at the damage. I stole my wife's hairdryer because that's what was closest, and I start evenly heating up the protective film and start testing the corners. Once it starts to peel, I continue applying even heat while removing the film to avoid any further damage to the paint or frame. Because carbon fiber is originally fabric, these splinters can be propagated if pulled or mishandled. Now that the paint protection film is gone, I can start isolating the repair locations with tape and bag off the rest of the frame to keep it clean from resin and dust while we prepare the damaged section for repair. Now that the bike is protected, I want to make sure I'm protected. So I get out gloves, a respirator, and safety glasses. The respirator is definitely a must dealing with any sort of carbon dust. It can do some serious damage to your lungs. I also have long sleeves on because I don't think my wife wants me to bring dust into the house for the rest of the day. And now, I sand. While sanding, I really only want to take off the top coat of paint and the primer. I don't want to damage any of the underlying carbon fiber because that's what we're going to attach to, and we don't want to create more problems for ourselves later. I started out by using regular sandpaper, and that was more on the flat sections of the bike, but as I progressed I switched to a Dremel while only applying very light pressure. Using a Dremel or any sort of power tool with carbon fiber bikes can be very dangerous as you risk damaging the frame. While sanding near the bottom bracket, I found what looked like metal underneath. Seems like Trek uses an insert on the bottom to help reinforce that area. Here you can see me pre-cutting my carbon fiber sheets. Like I said before, carbon fiber is a fabric, so it's fairly workable with a pair of scissors if you don't mind them getting dull. When I get them pre-cut, I put them off as set so that I have them ready for the epoxy layout. The technique I'm using for repair is called scarfing. Then I'm going to do a doubler layer over top. The scarfing essentially fills the hole that is left by the carbon cracker hole, and then the doubler layer is a layer of carbon fiber over top in the surrounding area to help the forces that are going through that crack disperse through the rest of the frame. I mix up some 2-part epoxy and I apply some to the frame where the repairs will take place. I also use some to wet out the carbon fiber patches, so when they go on there are no air bubbles in the layup. I use this shrink tape over top. It has a release film on one side, and when you heat it up, it shrinks to compress what's underneath it. The hairdryer did not seem to be heating it up enough. Typically, you use this product in an oven, but I was pretty adamant that I didn't have an oven that was big enough for that, so I thought I'd keep using the hairdryer. This was working pretty okay until I blew all of my pre-set aside patches off the back of my workbench and lost them. Something bad always happens during wet layup. After I'm done applying the shrink tape, I also apply a layer of duct tape over top to add some of the compressive forces around the outside. I also thought this might contain some of the heat of the exothermic reaction of the epoxy resin and help the shrink tape shrink more. I do this at all 4 locations, and then I go to bed and pray that it'll work out in the morning. Next time on the world's cheapest Madone, we get to debag and see if we get to paint or if we get to start all over again.